Italian wine and dine tours with a skiing problem, computerized goggles, and a look behind the scenes at Warren Miller ski films. Let's now go ski with our guest co-host for today. If you've watched any Warren Miller films, well, you probably recognize this guy's ski. Chris Anthony is going to be my co-host for today's show. Thanks for joining us, Chris.
I'm totally stoked to be here.
Sweet, well let's head into the studio and get this show started. Hello and welcome to Top of the Mountain. I'm Ramona Bruland and this is our guest co-host for the show today, Chris Anthony. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good.
If you've ever seen a Warren Miller film, you've probably seen this guy ski. He's a pretty good ripper. He gets out there and do those big mountain lines. How many Warren Miller films have you skied in now?
You know, the film company's been around 61 years and I've been lucky enough to be in the last 21, so it's been a good ride. 21 Warren Miller ski films. That's 21 years you've been skiing for those guys. I know. I'm 22.
Well, tell me, what's it like behind the scenes at Warren Miller? Is it really intense?
Well, it's a family, for sure. And, you know, everybody probably grew up with the film, so everybody's so happy and passionate to be there. And the amount of work that they do to get this, you know, project together every year is just absolutely amazing.
Like, do you film all season, or how many months does it take to put one ski film
together? To get the actual project going usually takes years in advance, and then by the time you go on location, it's a year prior to the actual release of the film, because it takes another 8 months or so to edit together. So there's a lot of time and energy in each minute. Each minute probably takes, you know, total of days, 10 days to make happen.
Well, for me, Warren Miller kind of signals the start of the ski season, and that is the theme for today's show. Season starter, everything you need to know about the beginning of your ski season. You also telling me earlier about some kids that you work with. What's some of that? Yeah,
so I've been lucky enough to get to travel around and visit schools. I take the kids on a round-the-world journey using clips out of the Warren Miller movie. It gets them to dream and maybe perhaps set some goals for themselves. Through SOS Outreach, we get to actually take those kids up into the hills and into the mountains and share the lifestyle that you and I get to enjoy.
Absolutely. And you've got another big project coming up real quickly. What's that about?
I'm going to do a little documentary on the 10th Mountain Division, a portion of their lives in 1943 when they went from Camp Hale to Aspen.
You're going to relive that?
I'm going to relive it.
Oh my goodness, sounds like quite the adventure. It is all about the start of the ski season in today's episode, so let's take to the streets and find out what you think is going to be the next biggest trend.
What's the next biggest ski trend? Oh man, you already know what's the next biggest thing.
Kite skiing. You know, because they're doing that out in the plains up in Idaho where it's really windy and there's drifts, and I think they're doing it down in Utah too.
Geez Louise, you hear about these new parabolic skis they got now?
Longer skis are coming back. A lot of the girls are actually skiing on longer skis than we were like 3 years ago.
2 skis on 1 ski, that's exactly what they are.
Snowboards are going to probably turn into more like, even wider, more like surfboards.
A heating system for the boots and the goggles. Goggles? No, hostia, goggles.
No, goggles.
Goggles. No, goggles is the...
Gloves, you mean gloves?
You mean gloves,
okay.
yeah.
Mood skis, which would determine the type of mood you're in. So if you see a skier next to you that's in a bad mood, steer clear.
Girls in bikinis, that'll keep you warm.
Biggest new trend is going to be neon, skis, bindings, everything.
I really think they should be serving drinks in the gondola cars on a nice sunny day.
Defogger on the goggles for sure.
Rocket skis. As long as we have good snow, good mountain, and a lot of good place, that's all we care about.
Wow, lots of ambitious suggestions there. Chris, what do you think the next big trend's going to be?
I think it's adjustable ski flex and width. There'll be a computer chip that just change it to the temperature and the softness or hardness of the snow.
That's amazing. I would definitely buy a pair of those skis.
One pair of skis fits all.
Patent right here today, you heard it. Well, right now I think the Recon goggles are going to be an awesome trend. Take a look.
The Transcend is the world's first GPS integrated goggles. Transcend is a partnership between Zeal Optics and Recon Instruments, and beyond the photochromic and polarized lens technology that Zeal is known for, we've added a GPS chip, a display, and a handful of other instruments to show you information about your speed, the current altitude, current temperature, as well as a number of different odometers to show you how far you've skied today. While all that information is available to you when you want to see it, while you're skiing and your eyes are up, you can't even tell that anything's there. It performs exactly like a regular pair of goggles. But when you want to see that information, when you want to review everything that you've been doing today, you can see all of that. So it's not a distraction at all. And from here, we're going to be developing a number of additional software applications, and in the future we'll have additional hardware options. We've worked really hard with Recon Instruments to develop something that's useful to skiers everywhere.
You know, I've played with those, and that is the future. All your data right there in front of your face. The speed, temperature, even where your friends are at, you can locate them.
Yeah, those Recon goggles are pretty cool. As you just said, they're like a fighter pilot screen, you know, all of the data right there in front of you. It'd kind of be surreal though, it'd be more like a computer game than actual reality, wouldn't it?
That's where we're headed though.
Fingers crossed. Well, right now, this is all about starting your ski season, and with the scoop on how to transition your skis from storage to the slopes is Christian Wetzel.
So hopefully you've applied a generous coat of storage wax at the end of last ski season. That way over the summer your bases don't dry out. Make sure that you scrape all that storage wax off. Just get yourself a plastic scraper, not a metal scraper, and make sure you scrape that ski to the bone. The next thing you want to do is make sure you have your skis professionally tuned. This will include a base grind, a stone grind, a wax, and an edge. Base grind will remove any previous burrs, nicks, or scratches to your base. The stone grind is going to lay down a nice structure to your base. That wax, of course, is going to make you slide down the hill with great ease. And those edges, make sure they're sharp or you won't be able to stop right or turn effectively. And finally, have your bindings checked out by a certified binding technician. They're going to look at the din of the binding. That is the number on the binding that sets the spring that enables you to step out of the ski should emergency situation happen. By providing and following these all safety checks, you'll be ready for a great start of your ski season.
It is important to get your skis ready for the ski season, but early season there is thin coverage of snow out there, which brings us to our word of the day, or Aussie word of the day, as Chris has been calling it, rock hoppers. What do you call it?
I call them rock skis.
Rock skis, rock hoppers, same thing depending on which hemisphere you're from. Why don't you read us the definition there, Chris?
The definition is a pair of old skis that are used in early season conditions when snow coverage is minimal and the owner just doesn't mind what they hit.
There we go. All need a good pair of rock hoppers. More of Top of the Mountain coming up right after this.
Coming up next, we'll take you early season shopping for some hot new ski fashions, see which ski resorts won the race to open first this winter, and the best online resources and phone app technology. So stay tuned, we'll be right back.